the level what we study, which is amazing. These are the things we really keep the strength of the society and economy here in Southern Illinois. Thank you very much.
Any questions about education or economic development that me or the Consul?
In regards to having good jobs and growing the workforce, what is the significance of, or how Southern Illinois is so attractive for our companies?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So here in Southern Illinois, we have incredible people, incredible workforce. We have incredible location at the center of the United States, incredible transportation network with the rivers, with the highways, with the rail system, quick access to St. Louis, quick access to the rest of the Midwest. We have an ecosystem, we have great energy resources here, we have a great cost of doing business, and we have an outstanding middle-class education system. With Rend Lake College, with Southern Illinois University, so we got the opportunity for training young people that are veterans and those who need career changes to supply a world-class workforce for Japanese firms and frankly for firms from all over the world. As governor, I went to Japan to help 4 companies come from Japan to invest in Southern Illinois. Went to China. I'm going to be going to Europe to bring more German firms, more British firms to the state. But I've also been going to California and New York. They have more regulations than we do. They have higher tax burden, and we're bringing companies from the East Coast and West Coast to invest in Southern Illinois. And we've got a huge opportunity for more growth. If we can get the regulatory burden off of our businesses so our regulations are very competitive, and if we can bring our tax burden down, especially our property taxes, we will boom. Put our money in our education system, Rend Lake, SIU, our K-12 schools. We will thrive and make a better future, great future for the people of Illinois, especially Southern Illinois.
And you mentioned earlier, what is your hope for some of the vocational and technical schools, community colleges, and universities?
Yes, the critical thing is that we have a partnership, a strong partnership between community colleges, local high schools, and local employers, so that classes are offered for the jobs that are available in the economy. Unfortunately, we've got high unemployment rate in many of our communities, but the flip side is there are thousands of jobs that are going unfilled. We don't have enough machining technicians. We don't have enough computer programmers. We don't have enough welders and maintenance technicians. And these are good paying jobs where people can get these jobs right out of high school, or maybe just 1 year out of high school. Young people can be making $50,000 and up in many of these careers, and they don't need a college degree. They just need a certificate with a certain technical skill. And if our local employers let our community college know exactly what they need, and our high schools, we can get our young people good careers and with a high-paying future.
This one's to the Council General. What are some of the things that you look for in a place like Southern Illinois when considering companies to come here?
First of all, the good investment climate. So I really wanted to look at what's taking place in Southern Illinois with my own eyes. I'm really impressed the way the companies, existing companies here, enjoying very, very good working environment, invest climate here in Mount Vernon, Southern Illinois. So Governor and I talked about how we could develop further two-way business partnership here. And I see a very high potential here. And those companies like Aishin, even this Magnum Steel Works, those are, have association with Japanese companies owned by Japanese companies. And on the basis of a really good track record of those existing companies of Japan, I'm sure that we can send a really good signal message to Japan so that there's going to be increasing number of Japanese companies to come and enjoy real, say, beauty of Illinois here downstate this place. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Can we revert to that?
Yeah.
All right, and
We go on to other topics?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you get away.
All right.
See you later. See you later. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Okay, other topic?
you
You may have heard of the recent NBC, Matt Lauer, and some of the sexual harassment there that have come down and his firing with NBC News. In regards to the state capitol and the Senate bills and House bills that have been recently signed and passed, can you elaborate on what the state is doing?
Well, so in my first year as governor, I signed an executive order that specifically had an ethics and personal code of conduct for everyone in our administration, where harassment, sexual harassment, was specifically called out. It's zero tolerance, and I called for training for everyone in the administration against sexual harassment. We also have a Office of the Executive Inspector General in our administration. There are very clear paths and very clear process for any concerns, any allegations, any inappropriate behavior that anyone can bring on a confidential basis to the Inspector General and get it handled and processed expeditiously. I'm very proud of that. It's been long overdue that finally the General Assembly has got a legislative Inspector General. They left that place vacant for 3 years, and that's wrong. And as a result, there were harassment allegations that went uninvestigated and unprocessed. That's unfair to the victims or the potential victims. I'm glad that the General Assembly finally put someone in for the Legislative Inspector General. But as I said at the time that I signed the harassment bills, the two that passed, they're a good step in the right direction, but they're only a very initial step. It is good that we now have training annually on this issue. I think that's great. It's also great that there's now a hotline so that people have a confidential place to call immediately if there's an issue, so they can have it dealt with. Those are great. But the problem is the General Assembly hurried this so much that they actually weren't thoughtful about the way the Inspector General works. Their Legislative Inspector General has to get approval about what she or he investigates. Their investigations can get managed or coordinated by the General Assembly. It's not completely independent. That's wrong. There's also a statute of limitations issue where I think the statute of limitations is too short and it should be extended. So there's more work to be done, and I'm encouraging the General Assembly to do that.
And the repurposed Illinois Youth Center in Murphysboro, can you give me some sort of update on the status of that, when that's going to open?
Yeah, so I thank you for asking. The Murphysboro Reentry Facility, the Life Skills Center, very important facility. I'm personally committed to making sure that gets open. The bureaucracy is moving too slow. I'm not a patient person. I'm a little bit impatient with that. We're going to get it open, and it's a very important economic engine for this part of the state. It's also essential to help keep our communities safer, because if we can help our offenders get job skills, life skills, training, and help with any addiction or mental health issues, they can go out and lead productive lives, and will reduce the recidivism and the repeat offenders. So we're working hard. We're going to get that facility open as soon as we can. We're pushing the bureaucracy to do it.
Okay, and do you think like 6 months, a year?
I'll have our team give you exact dates.
Okay.
I don't want to give you exact date, but I'm pushing this fast.
Okay.
I want it open yesterday, so I'm going to push as much as I can.
All right.
We have time for one more.
North Korea, we just got news of the breakthrough, their breakthrough with some of their nuclear weapons and their missiles. Is there a stance on that with the state capitol?
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a national security issue. It's as a governor of the state, there's not much directly I can say about it, other than I'll say this. I think North Korea poses a very dire threat to the safety of America and to democracy around the world. It's a radical regime, and I would certainly support our federal administration taking very aggressive action against North Korea. When I was in Japan and China on my trade mission to bring more jobs to Illinois, I met with officials. They are very concerned in Asia about having such a radical regime with nuclear capabilities, shooting missiles. It's a deep concern, and I hope that our federal government takes strong action to go after North Korea. I think they're a threat to the world.
Thanks, everyone.